Their innovations include the world's first fully automated multi-cuisine chef, a custom robot that uses machine learning to cook infinite recipes replicated with exact precision anytime, anywhere. Let me introduce Nala Robotics. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Learn Nation. For today's agenda and interview, we have Ajay Sunkara, co-founder and CEO at the company using AI to disrupt the culinary industry. So welcome, Ajay. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining the podcast today.
Thanks, Lisa, and thanks for having me. You did mention about the company a little bit, but the way it started is I actually come from a software background. I moved to the US in 2002. And since then, I've been involved in software development, mainly in the ERP space. We expanded our company all over the country. And as a part of diversification, I went ahead and started a couple of breweries in India. And one day I was in the breweries and came across this idea of the beer making process so automated and it has machines doing the task from start to end. Why can't we do the same for food making, in fact? And that's when the idea came in. I came back to the US, sat with Vijay, who's our CTO and co-founder of the company. And we started working on this project, and it's been 6 years now. We have multiple product lines. We also have product that we recently introduced that can do dishwashing as well as take care of other household chores as well.
Thank you so much for that background. And I know that you guys recently introduced the robotic pizza solution in collaboration with Ovention. So how was it like?
It's pretty good. In fact, it's a very good Ovention and Timecodes are very famous in their field. They have one of the best ovens. They have the best systems, and they have a good service all across the world. In fact, when combining forces with them, it was very easy for us to get all their marketing resources, getting into the market quick. In fact, we could deliver that product within 6 months.
I wanted to ask you also about the specific products that you guys have. I know that you have the Nala Chef, the Wingman, Spotless. So what's the difference between each one?
Each and every one caters to a different set of cuisine or different set of audience in terms of the restaurants that we're talking about. For instance, the Nala Chef is mainly for something that needs a burner or a wok. The one behind me right now is the Nala Chef. It's good for, I would say, Italian, Asian, Indian, Thai, something that actually needs a burner and a flame. When it comes to Pizzaiola, it's mainly for classic pizzas. You actually can add a fryer to it and have it do some fried stuff as well. On the other hand, we have this product called the Wingman, which is actually one of our top sellers. It's a beautiful product. It actually can do anything frying, in fact, which is a major part of the restaurant industry in the US particularly. It can do any sorts of frying, right from your wings to tater tots, fries, whatever you call it. And then you can actually add seasoning as well to that. On top of that, once it's done with the seasoning or saucing, it actually would clean itself, package it, and get ready for the next batch of orders. So that's one of our top sellers. And on the other hand, on a total different vertical, we have what we call the Spotless, which is a dishwasher. As you know, dishwashing is one of the jobs no one wants to do. And in fact, that's where our solution would help restaurant owners. Our robots actually are mobile now, which means that it can make your wings, it can make your sandwich. And then during off-peak hours, the robot can go back and do your dishes now.
Definitely impressive. Thank you so much for explaining that to us. And talking on the technical specifications, what would you say it's different about Nala Robotics?
We have designed everything keeping our commercial kitchen in mind. We actually opened our showcase kitchen in Naperville, Illinois, just to see the pain points of an operator and what are the things that a restaurant owner would go through. And that's where all our solutions are designed. We made it into a way that it needs minimal human intervention. Our robots are AI powered. In fact, the latest version of our robots, we've integrated with ChatGPT as well. So you can tell ChatGPT, hey, I have a bunch of onions here, some rice, some tomatoes, some chicken. So make me a dish. And ChatGPT would process that and throw some recipes to our robots to make them.
Oh, this is definitely impressive. I had no idea about that integration. That's definitely new. I wanted to ask you about the challenges that Nala has overcome, especially in the food industry. Can you talk a little bit about it?
It's pretty interesting. In fact, if you look at the culinary industry, the adaptation is a little slow, is what we noticed. But the industry is vast as well. You have some early adopters, but we have a lot of businesses who have been in the industry for 50, 100 years, and they're very slow to change. And that's what we're doing right now, piloting with them, explaining how it would help their restaurants, how this would help turn the biggest problem that we have in the industry, which is lack of quality labor.
Normally we tend to speak with different founders and CEOs in the industry, and most of them are really involved in the procurement process. So how is that like for you?
We did face a lot of issues. So supply chain issues. We had to actually go to the container yard to search for our shipments. So we could find the best engineers to build this product, but we couldn't find plumbers and electricians to actually install it or pull an electrical line, in fact. But good news is things are back to normal now. The supply chain is back to normal, and we should see a better supply chain all across the world now.
I would like to ask you, what are the next steps for Nala?
The current thing we're doing is piloting with several chains in developing solutions that are specific and custom fit their needs. That's a primary target right now, deploying all our solutions to these chains. And also we're parallelly working on bringing this into households. So we want products that are more suited for a household. And our idea is to start launching them later this year and early next year.
Wow, excited for those next steps. Are you guys planning on expanding?
We are currently opening our office in Canada, and we are expanding into Europe as well. Definitely, we do have a lot of interest from Canada and Europe, and we will be utilizing that to expand ourselves.
And one of the last questions I would like to ask you from your perspective, where do you think the future of the industry is going?
Definitely, it's going to be a lot more automation. We have seen that during COVID, and after COVID, things haven't changed much. So a lot of automation and adaptation of AI will be a part of our day-to-day lives. And we're going to see a lot more, not just in making your food, but talking about agriculture, like growing the crops, to how your food is being processed, to how it's cooked and served as well.
And last but not least, I would like to ask, do you have any advice for future entrepreneurs or CEOs starting on this path?
When we started this thing, to be honest with you, I actually thought this is a task that I could not do. I thought that this is a task that some scientists would come in and figure it out. I never thought it would be us who would be able to do this thing. But again, lucky for us, we could find a good team. We could all collaborate our talents and build this thing. So what I would say is, as long as we try, I believe there's a path for everything. It takes a lot of time to take your first step. But once you take your first step, I believe you can always run and sprint and win the game.
Definitely the key. So yeah, thank you so much for being here at AJ. Do you have any social media handles? Where can people find you or the company?
Actually, you can follow us on the website, nalarobotics.com. We are also on Twitter under the handle Nala Robotics.
We'll make sure to follow you then. And remember, guys, that you can also find more information, interesting articles, interesting interviews just like this one, directly on our website, ControlHub.com/builder-nation. We would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for being here. Once again, it was a pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
Sure. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for having me.